Welcome viewers. Today let us talk about two banking stocks. One from public sector, Canara Bank, and the other from private sector bank, Karnataka Bank Limited. Before being specific, let us review the banking sector developments. Capital markets are trading at record highs. Historical evidence indicates that banking stocks participate well in any bull phase of the market. Although leading private sector banks participate in this bullish phase, stocks of public sector banks have so far lagged behind and are still below their three-year back highs. They now offer an excellent opportunity to the investors here onwards. Long-awaited takeover of banks by large corporate houses too is very much relevant and will materialize due to the unfolding events in the banking sector. Or recent happenings will compel the market to re-rate the banking stocks hereafterwards. They are deposit insurance guarantee ranges limit from 1 lakh to 5 lakhs to the depositors. Number two, RBI to dole out 10,000 rupees 10,000 crore to depositors of failed cooperative banks. More importantly, formation of bad bank to mitigate the NPA menace of the sector is a big development for the sector. Lastly, Piramal Capital's payment to DHFL lenders to the tune of 37,250 crores is also a big positive development. Of these, first two confidence building factors to bank depositors seems to have been factored well. The news of formation of bad bank fetched some lukewarm response from the market. News of payment of DHFL's lenders settlement of the Piramal takeover. DHFL seems to have been ignored by the market, probably as its impact was not yet understood. Let us look at it in detail. According to the approved resolution plan of the DHFL takeover, Piramal Capital and Housing Finance Limited will pay rupees 37,250 crores for the mortgage financial creditors against the admitted claim of about rupees 88,000 crore from them. SBI, State Bank of India, has already signed the transaction documents on 20th September 2021, while other lenders are likely to do so in the coming days. Look at the exposure of the leading banks to the DHFL. As on 30th November 2020, State Bank of India had highest share of around 10,000 crores dues. Bank of India had around 4,125 crores exposure to DHFL. Canara Bank rupees 2,681 crores. National Housing Bank rupees 2,434 crores. Union Bank of India rupees 2,380 crores. Syndicate Bank rupees 2,229 crores. And Bank of Baroda rupees 2,075 crores. Indian Bank rupees 1,552 crores. Central Bank of India rupees 1,389 crores. IDBI Bank rupees 999 crores. And HDFC Bank rupees 361 crores. These figures may have changed by now on account of accrued interest. All these banks have accounted these amounts as loss assets and provided for them fully in their balance sheets. Any amount recovered from here on will directly go to their bottom line, that is profit. Market is then bound to re-rate these banks once the significance of this is understood by the market participants. Take the case of Canara Bank. Its relevant exposure now stands upwardly of rupees 4,910 crores, including the share of Syndicate Bank with which it merged. Canara Bank is to get 40% of this amount after signing the documents. It is expected to its expected recovery is about rupees 1,960 crores from the single loss asset, which is even bigger than its entire net profit of Q1 of this financial year, which was around 1,234 crores. It means additional EPS of around 11.90 for the bank due to single transaction. Exchange filing is expected anytime from these banks after signing the documents. So, strong re-rating from the market to these banks is imminent due to these oncoming tangible gains. Going by the swift re-rating of G Entertainment Limited that last week on just exceptional intangible gains. Of these, Canara Bank's potential fascinates this analyst as it has underperformed so far, unlike SBI, which already attracted major attention. Let us look at Canara Bank. This is the third largest public sector bank in India. It is the leading promoter of that bank with 12% promoter stake. It is the second biggest beneficiary of the oncoming recoveries of losses of DHFL. Moreover, ACE investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala acquired 2.88 crores shares, which means 1.59% stake in Canara Bank in the last quarter. Its 1 year price chart is given in this slide. Let us see the bank's present position. Presently, bank has 9,235 general branches, 642 specialized branches, taking the total branch strength to 9,877 branches. It has 4 overseas branches. It has 9,053 business correspondent points. Due to merger of Syndicate Bank, Canara Bank branches, due to merger of Syndicate and Canara Bank branches, which are in close proximity, reduction in number of branches and ATMs happened during first quarter of 2022, which improves profitability from here onwards. See the performance of the bank in the first quarter of the current year. Canara Bank recorded global gross business of 16,86,030 crores in financial year 21 with deposits of 10,10,875 crores and advances of 6,75,155 crores. Its first quarter performance is really impressive, which is shown in the slide. Going by this, bank is expected to record global business of 18,34,000 crore in financial year 20 in this current financial year with expected advances level of 7,26,000 crores. On its expanded equity, it is expected to record an EPS of rupees 30, inclusive of DHCL recovery on a conservative basis. FIA's holding in Canara Bank rose from 2.29% in September 2020 to 3.92% in June 2021 quarter. The bank has raised rupees 2,500 crores through QIP last month. Of this, FIA share is 32.73%. Consider the prevailing valuation data points of the leading public sector banks as on 17th September, which is furnished in this slide. Its PE ratio is second lowest as is the case with its PB ratio. In fact, for financial firms and banks, PB ratio is given more weightage in investment decisions by global investment firms. With expected EPS of rupees 30 plus, its stock is expected to cross over rupees 360 at a reasonable PE ratio of 12 against SBI's present PE of 15.73 in the medium term. Even at that rate, its PB ratio will be below its then expected book value, which will be increased due to this year's retained profits as well as share premium of the raised QIP issue. Look at the performance of the share in the last 10 years. It has grossly underperformed the markets over a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year period, which is not justified by the impressive growth recorded by the bank. So the stock market is bound to re-rate the global chase of the Canara Bank in the coming days. Going by all these facts, Canara Bank stock deserves a buy call at the current levels with a long-term target of rupees 360, if not more. Some serious portfolio investors see hidden potential which its subsidiaries offer. Of its subsidiaries, only Can Fin Homes is listed and fetching better valuations. Among other subsidiaries, its insurance arm Choice, AMC arm CRAMC, Canara Bank Securities Limited, Canara Bank Venture Fund Limited, and RRBs offer explosive potential if and when they are demerged and listed independently like Can Fin Homes. Such investors, in fact, are looking for a price target of beyond rupees 600 from the present Canara Bank share, inclusive of the expected demerged benefits. Now, looking at the private sector banks, expectations of takeover by larger corporates of smaller private sector banks are there in the market for some time. Federal Bank, Karnataka Bank, Karur Vysya Bank, etc. merit attention in this context. Of these, fundamentals of Karnataka Bank excite this analyst as it merits investment even in the absence of any probable takeover. Let us look at it. It has 858 branches with a staff strength of 8,220 employees. It is operating in 22 states and 2 union territories. Karnataka Bank was incorporated on 18th February 1924. Now the bank has 800. It reached the present position after merger of 3 banks: Sringeri Sharda Bank Limited, Chitradurga Bank Limited, and Bank of Karnataka Limited. Bank is run by professional management board led by its CMD, Mr. M.S. Mahabaleshwara. Its share price movement chart is given here. Let us look at its performance. This 13th largest private sector bank in India recorded EPS of rupees 15.52 in last financial year. Let us see the performance of the bank in the last 2 quarters. The bank has recorded growth rate of 237.72% in its net profit in the first quarter of this current financial year. Bank is expected to record EPS levels of around 16 in the current year. To think of its share potential price in the coming months, FIIs have increased their stake from 7.33% in September 2020 to 9.99% in the quarter ended June 2021. The trend is expected to be continued. Even a conservative PE ratio of 12 against the industry average PE ratio of 19.12 give it a market price of rupees 192 in the medium term to this stock. Most analysts have given strong buy calls. Only one sell call was given 3 months ago with a lower projected price of 50, as against 8 buy calls with an average projected price of rupees 85.96 and a high price of rupees 131.82. Karnataka Bank therefore reserves a buy with a target price of rupees 192 in the long run, keeping rupees 67.45 as stop loss level. Disclaimer: this research post is made for educational purpose only, with utmost care and without any risk and responsibility on the part of the researcher who posted this. Viewers have to take their investment decisions on their own risk and responsibility after consulting their personal investment advisor. I hope that this video made an useful view to you. If you agree, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Your likes only will motivate me to present research videos again. Thank you for viewing the video.